What's up, everybody? Aaron and Abby here with Why We Love Horror, and we got a special treat with our AMC Screen Unseen, along with everybody else. Shameless plug there. We're not sponsored yet, but we got to see an early screening of Bring Her Back, the new Philippou Brothers movie. We're not doing trailers anymore, so we're just going to hop in to the review here. This review is going to be a little different. It's going to be non-spoiler, but before I get any further into it, Abby, how are you doing and how are you feeling about this movie?
Yeah, I'm doing good, and I'm feeling very good about this movie. I was very excited for it because I think all of us here really liked Talk to Me, John included. So I think we were all pretty excited, and I thought the trailer for this movie was really good. I think it did a really good job of just like not really giving too much away. And it had a lot of really like creepy, weird imagery with it, which is present in this movie. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with this movie.
Yeah. Also, yeah, as Abby said, I also was a fan of Talk to Me. I was very excited for this second A24 foray for the Philippou Brothers. I did enjoy Talk to Me. It wasn't one of my 2 or 3 favorites, but it was like a very solid movie. And right off the bat with this movie really has some similarities without getting into spoilers again. Just talking generally about the movie and some big differences from Talk to Me. I would say this one is a bit more brutal, but Talk to Me obviously has some very brutal scenes. This has like 2 or 3 of those scenes that we'll talk about in the future, maybe on a spoiler discussion with John once he gets to see it. But overall, I really, really love the performances in this movie. I think it's one of the strongest parts of it. Sally Hawkins is really, really good. But the girl who's playing the vision impaired individual, it's her first movie. And I'm blanking on her name right now, but I thought she was really good as well. Really, all 4 of the performances, and 3 of them being younger individuals, which the Philippou Brothers kind of are showing a strength for. So, what did you think? What did you think of the cast and the characters overall?
Yeah, no, the cast I thought was great, and everybody did really well in the roles that they played. The main gist of this movie, again, we'll be very vague about it, but basically there's a brother-sister duo. The little girl's name,
Sora Wang.
Yes. And then there's a 17-year-old teenage boy played by Billy Barrett, who apparently he's like one of the youngest people to win an Emmy. So before the movie, the Philippou Brothers like pop up and they give a whole spiel, and that's one of the things that they mentioned. And both of these young actors are really, really good. So basically they're a brother-sister duo. There's a tragedy that strikes in their life where they end up in the foster care system, end up with Sally Hawkins. And she's just not quite right. She's actually like quite a weirdo. There's just like weird little things that she's doing around the house, and just it's very weird. And they have a stepbrother.
Ollie.
The character's name is Ollie, who he's a little bit strange. So there's just a lot of, that's the very basic gist of weird things are going on between these characters. Again, the Ollie character is also a very young actor as well. It doesn't look like he's been in much of anything either, and I think he was particularly good as well. There's, again, each actor I think had something specific that they were doing in this movie. A lot of it revolving around grief and feelings around grief and how they're dealing with it, whether in good ways, bad ways, it'll come out in this movie. But I thought all of the performances were very convincing. Some of the performances very aggravating, but it's meant to be that way. sometimes I struggle with that, where there's a performance where I'm like, this person in character is really annoying me. Like, why are they doing this? But it's for a reason in this movie, and it works, and that's the point. But long story to after all of that, the performances are really, really good by literally everybody in this movie.
Yeah, and they're very like natural in their performances as well. Sally Hawkins maybe not so much, because she does have kind of a more like crazy, like almost like reminds me of Misery type performance, like that similar vein but different type of character. But the other performances, like Talk to Me, like are very like natural, like in their perform, and like the Philippou brothers coming from YouTube, I think kind of have that skill. Maybe I've never watched any of their YouTube stuff. I should really watch some of it maybe. But because I really am impressed so far with what they've done, and without getting into details again or spoilers, there's a through line with Talk to Me here with like kind of the brutality, but it's done in such a different, more deeply emotional way. For me personally, I preferred this to Talk to Me off the first watch. And ends with a really, really great shot as well. I think it's one of the best final shots of the year. By the end of the year, there's some scenes in this movie where like I was curling up.
There's some really disgusting ones.
Like, you just want them to be over.
Yeah, in Talk to Me, I feel like there's maybe like one memorable scene. Maybe there's more, but I
think the one is the face smash.
Yes, that's the one that I'm thinking of. In this one, there's like maybe 3 that are really disgusting, and like it kind of catches you off guard when they happen. Like they're really, really cringy moments. But good. I think that the brutal moments are a little bit better in this one than in Talk to Me.
Yeah. And it's definitely a little less of a fun movie than Talk to Me. I know Talk to Me gets into some weird grief aspects as well, but the grief is just much more like center line in this movie. I've seen comparisons to Hereditary. I think they're apt. It's unfair because Hereditary is, I think, one of the best 5 or 10 horror movies of this century. So it's like always tough when you throw that. It's like Exorcist before Hereditary was thrown around. Now it's like Hereditary is the new Exorcist. People don't call it the next Exorcist. It's the next Hereditary. It's just how it works, I guess. But that's not against the movie, obviously.
There's definitely a similar vibe, I will say. I think the Philippou brothers, this might be a weird comparison because they have only 2 movies at this point, but I feel like right now what they're doing feels very similar to like what Oz Perkins was doing in the beginning, where a lot of his movies had a very similar vibe. Now it's a little bit like The Monkey doesn't fit with a lot of his other movies, but in the beginning they all had like a very dark, and like they felt very similar, where I feel like it's kind of the same with these 2 movies. And I know we're doing a lot of comparing between this and Talk to Me, but I feel like there's a very like similar feeling between both of them. Talk to Me is a little bit more lighthearted, but I think even in this movie, like in Talk to Me, there's the whole sequence where they're like playing the game with the hand, and it's very like fun, and they're having a party, and they're all laughing and having a great time. There is a scene in this movie towards the beginning where it feels very lighthearted, and like Sally Hawkins and the brother sister, they're having a party, and it's kind of a weirdly dark, but it feels lighthearted kind of at the time. They're all like drinking, and it felt very similar, where there's like, okay, like these 2 party scenes, and then everything gets really dark afterwards.
Yeah, it's the setup for this is very deliberate. And on first watch, you're almost like, okay, like let's go. And I'm excited to rewatch this movie. Honestly, I would like to possibly see this in theaters again if I could, because I was really impressed with the visuals as well, and the pacing. I'm interested to see how my view of the pacing is on a second watch, just because there is kind of that setup, and it's a long, deliberate setup after the initial tragedy that happens, the way, and then the way the movie ends with that shot, I really like that. I know some people maybe need a little bit more, or would want like an epilogue or something. I think that final shot is pretty perfect ending for what they were going for.
Yeah, I'm good with the final shot. I think it's very like it feels like a wraparound kind of like okay, like a good ending for the character that is involved with the ending. I think if I had to complain about anything in this movie, it would be that I think I'd like a little bit more information about certain things that one of the character is involved with. Like you know that she's involved with something not good, but it's very like vague what they're doing it with it. It's hard to talk about it in a non-spoiler, but I think I'd like more information about like what one of the main characters is doing and like I mean in the trailers you see a lot of footage. It looks like people are, you know, possessed and it's just that creepy footage. I'd like to know more about that, and I guess we can talk more about that in a spoiler review, but there's some stuff where I think it's just left up to your imagination, or you're just supposed to be like, okay, like this is just bad things that are happening.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think that's fair, but overall, I think this has been a really good discussion, kind of on the non-spoiler aspects. One more like note from the little speech the Philippou brothers did before the movie. They spoiled like a decent amount of the movie, like right before the movie. Even one of the brothers said
kind of
it was spoiled. I didn't know about that aspect going in, and then I was ready for it. And it's not like if I didn't know about that aspect, it would have added that much, but I was waiting for it. So therefore, I do think it caused for the introduction to feel a little slower for me because I knew where it was going. I was like, all right, let's get to what they mentioned. We're 45 minutes in now. So if you don't know that going in, maybe you want to.
They probably won't show that clip.
Won't. No.
This coming week or whenever the movie is like released to the public, because this was specifically for like the Scream Unseen or the mystery movie thing. So I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, but either way, let's go ahead and get to our ratings now. All right, with our ratings now, first, Abby, what was your thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, so I feel like we feel pretty similar about the movie. I really enjoyed it. I do feel similarly to, again, Talk to Me, not to keep comparing. I think that it's a good movie. I don't think it's like one of the best to come out this year, but I liked what they were doing. I liked the dark vibe. Again, grief horror seems to be all the rage these days. But I liked the way they did it in this movie, I should say. It didn't feel like overdone or like it's, oh, we've seen this before kind of thing. Great cast, great performances. I'm giving this a 4.
All right. Yeah, and I feel pretty much the same there. All of the above, copy and paste. 4 videotapes for me as well, with I think it's a pretty strong possibility on rewatch for it to increase for me. I might have these rated the same on Letterboxd, but I do prefer this on first watch. I think it was nice to see the Philippou brothers have a little bit of a fun streak, but be a little more introspective and mature here as well. Like, while also, still opening it up, I think, to be able to bounce back to something like a more fun. I just think they have a good range moving forward. So before we take off, the schedule does not change here, at least for a little bit. Mondays versus with John and Will. They talk about some form of a movie there, and people watch sometimes. It's great. Tuesdays, our highest rated show, Why Liv Loves Horror. John's daughter Liv talks about movies and does a great job. Wednesdays, I attempt to make it through the remaining Evil Bong movies, and then we'll move on to other movies. I will also be bringing on guests to do lists, top 10 lists moving forward on certain weeks. So, different types of things going there. Fridays, Why We Love Horror Trivia. She's a champion in both leagues. And we have 2 matches every week there. Why We Love Horror. This show, as you can see, it's dropping when we see the movie. So whether it's John, all 3 of us, one of us, when it drops, it drops. So just have the notifications ready. We appreciate all the support. And you can follow us over on Letterboxd and do the Letterboxd Challenge Why We Love Horror Challenge 2025. There is the link there. It's also on all three of our profiles, John, myself, and Abby's profiles. So for John and Abby and myself, we appreciate you and we appreciate the support. See you later.